in a few seconds.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maria. So we are now live. And yes, if you are watching this stream, it means that you have come to the Module Open Futures launch event. And we are very pleased to have you here. Indeed, it's 2 minutes before we're due to start. But yes, we always like to welcome people, as the participants of the Module workshop will know. We like to be in the space when they arrive so that people can feel welcome. And so, yeah, here I am, welcoming you. And I'll introduce myself later, but some of you may know me, or maybe I'm sure many of you don't. My name is Fred Deakin, and I work for UAL. I am currently Professor of Digital Arts, and I will say all of this again in about 90 seconds, because I don't want to divulge any crucial information until we are comfortable that everybody has arrived. But yes, you are in the right place. You're about to see a whole range of fantastic projects. And we'll kick off in just 1 minute, 1 minute at 3 o'clock British Standard Time. So yeah, if you're joining us from internationally, this is the joy of online virtual events, is that you don't need to travel to anywhere to see these projects. And indeed, they've all been generated internationally, and I will speak to that again in a moment. But first, I want to make sure everybody who is coming for the beginning of this is in the room. So I'm just going to hang on a second until we get to 3 o'clock. And yeah, really excited. It's been the culmination of a real journey. But yeah, as I say, don't want to jump the gun, but you can see our lovely sponsors at the bottom. Again, I will talk about them later on, but we've had a lot of support on this workshop. It's a UAL thing, but we have been reaching out internationally to various partners and other creative industry experts to support us. So that is 3 o'clock. So let's get into some info. Again, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us here at the Module Open Futures launch event. We've been working very hard, or I should say the participants have been working very hard over the last 10 days. And actually the projects that you're going to see are really the product of the last 3 days, because there was a whole bunch of ideation and research that happened in the first week. We used the Design Council's Double Diamond as a really great reference point. So they did a lot of exploratory work last week and then only really got started this week. And they've done some incredible stuff. So you're going to be very impressed, I'm sure. So just a little bit of background. My name is Fred Deakin, and I work for the University of the Arts London. Next slide, please. And my role there is Professor of Digital Arts. I've been there since 2013. And back in 2014, just after I joined UAL, we started the Module project. Next slide, please. And the project was intended, UAL wanted us to explore the digital space and see what innovative strategies could be used to facilitate digital learning and explore various possibilities. And the core of Module is that it is collaborative. It is a cross-disciplinary collaborative space. I think everybody now agrees that the cross-disciplinary collaboration is the special sauce that makes creativity really fly. And you put a whole bunch of people on a team together, and they all have different skills, and they can collaborate together, then the whole becomes very quickly greater than the sum of the parts. It's complicated. It's not just as easy as saying you people go and collaborate over there. So we have a process that we've evolved over the last 6 years, and it's been very much co-created by the Module team, many of whom are Module graduates. And indeed, we have some people who did the very first module helping to deliver this one. Next slide, please. So it used to look a bit like this. We did do entirely online workshops in the past. This is not new to us, but also we experimented with the blended learning environment where we'd have some people in the room and some people online. And indeed, next slide, we also looked at how minimal we could make our setup. And this is an example of somebody working on a mobile phone rather than a laptop, which has been an interesting place to explore. For this particular workshop, next slide, we decided to open up our workshop to anybody who was interested. This was a decision we made before lockdown and before the pandemic. As a result, we've had a lot of applicants. We had a huge surge of participants wanting to take part. Here's some images from our Instagram account, module_workshop, where you can see various people from various perspectives showing their point of view. Next slide, please. So we were, as I say, inundated with applications when we put this out, and because of our partners. And one of our partners, UAL, obviously funds this workshop and runs it, but another partner is the British Council, and we were very grateful to them for not only putting the word out on their networks, but also participating as experts and mentors. And out of this, we had 800 applicants for the module workshop, which we whittled down to 200. And we have 200 participants from 11 different time zones currently taking part in this workshop. Next slide, please. As well as the British Council, we are also very lucky to be partnered by Design Manchester, who have also brought both participants and their expertise into the space, as well as, next slide, please, the Glasgow School of Art. Now, we've worked with them physically and with Design Manchester in the past. We've been to Glasgow and done workshops there, and indeed done them in parallel between London and Glasgow simultaneously. And for this workshop, again, they were very generous and supported us and spread the word. And some of the Glasgow School of Art students are part of this workshop also. We, in addition to these partners, we had industry experts. We had, next slide, please, some mentorship and indeed some inspiration from the organization Extinction Rebellion, who are very focused on climate emergency. Next slide, please. We're also joined by Studio Mirage, who are one of the UK's, if not the world's most exciting visual communicators, and also the interactive art company. They are Blast Theory. They make fantastic work and award-winning, internationally renowned. All these partners very generously came in and gave their expertise and their mentorship to our participants. And obviously, I've already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. The module team, next slide, please. We recruit students from the workshop and from UAL to deliver these workshops with us and to co-create them, to turn them into new versions, to update and iterate the workshop. We're trying to be agile and do what we say, lead by example. And all these people who I have not got time to name, so please forgive me. But yes, we'll talk about you guys more tomorrow. They have been amazing and incredible. So yes, but perhaps you're saying, Fred, enough talking. I'd like to see what it was like. Well, no problem, because now we're going to show you a video of the workshop. So if you'd like to run the video, that would be great. First day. Oh my goodness me, how exciting. Fred and Abby from Modual. We're just chatting until we start, but we thought we'd just kind of warm up the room a little bit.
3 minutes from now. Okay.
Any specific type of cooking or like just general?
It's quite general, so I like Indian, Moroccan.
Maybe a year ago, I went skiing, and that felt really good. Again, on like a very like physical way.
"5 minutes starting now."
Amazing.
The idea of what we can do with statues that have had problematic pasts.
Our kind of concept is to kind of increase accessibility to artwork and specifically digital artwork.
So the final vote.
So it's all based on like local area, what that area wants or needs. So
well done for also taking on a topic like this. I think it's a really hard one.
Yeah, yes.
I think you like that.
He loved it. Trust me, he loved it.
Great. So that's a little bit of a behind the scenes peek behind the curtain of what goes on Module workshop. So I've got two more things to say to you before we start. The first is if you want to tweet your comments with the hashtag Module, MODUAL, then they will appear in our live feed, as you can see in the bottom corner of the screen. And it would be great to have your comments on the projects that you see live. And also, and I'll reiterate this over the course of the presentations, we have a bunch of students going to show you some great projects. You might want to know more about them, and we've got quite a lot of projects to run through. We'll be about an hour and 15 minutes, I think, with these projects. We've got about 14 to go. But at the end of those presentations, we have allocated a separate Zoom room for every project. And there is a link in the in the website below this window with their logos in order of presentation. And if you click on those links, not now, at the end of the presentations, which will be about 4:30, 4:20, something like that, maybe even a touch earlier, we'll see. Then you can go to those students and have a conversation with them. There'll be Modual staff there as well. And I'm sure they would love to tell you more about their projects. Okay, that is enough talking from me. Let us have the first project, please. And we're going to show their video and then we're going to hear from them. So let's see the video from Mirage. Fantastic. Okay, so let's hear from the Mirage team. Over to you.
Hi, we're Mirage. We've designed a platform to create, upload, and experience art digitally. Our idea is to redefine what a traditional gallery could be, focusing on accessibility and inclusivity. The platform interface is multi-sensory and customizable. The platform can also be experienced as an app on a website and as interactive screens in public spaces. So we want no barriers for artists in uploading work, and in uploading work, we're going to guide them through creating more accessible work also. So I'm going to pass on to Maria.
Yes, thank you, Maddie. So due to the pandemic, digital galleries have become increasingly more important. From our research, we found that most existing digital galleries and platforms replicated the white box structure of physical spaces and only focused on established galleries and museums. So we wanted to design spaces that make viewing the artwork an experience in itself, allowing viewers and artists to dive into tailor-made immersive worlds. This encourages collaboration and diminishes hierarchies, and also encourages new kinds of digital art to be showcased and put out into the world. I'm just going to pass on now to Natalie.
Thank you, Maria. So as a way for the art to be more interactive and accessible, we used augmented reality through scannable QR codes and digital filters to do so. This way, the user can interact with different types of art in their own space while learning about the artist and also supporting them. And
yeah,
so
thanks so much,
Stephanie.
We are Mirage, and welcome to explore more AR artwork in our Zoom room. And we are waiting for you. Come here, and thank you.
Great. That feels like you're done. So thank you so much. Our first team, Project Mirage. Fantastic stuff. I have to be the applause here. Yeah, I'm sure it's being echoed throughout the internet. Okay, it is now time for our next project. We're going to see the video from Acquire Collective.
Acquire Collective is a regenerative platform that helps artists that want to develop abandoned spaces into community spaces by providing advice, fundraising, awareness, and expert support. We boldly recreate physical and virtual spaces for those that feel rejected by the masses and have a passion for individual expression. We offer an online platform for community organisers, artists and experts to support and advise one another, connecting a global network of community hubs and art spaces with distinct expertise in adapting abandoned buildings. Total collaboration is a matter of innermost importance and uttermost urgency. We invite all creatives to join us and co-create the world that is yet to come.
Okay, over to you, Acquire Collective.
Hi, I'm Webb from Acquire Collective. Our team is split between 4 cities in Kuwait, Valencia, London, and Glasgow. As a group, we each identified a huge variety of empty spaces in each of our cities, abandoned and unused. Safa in Kuwait looked at a variety of spaces, some of which were built but never occupied, or others that were being modernized at the expense of their usability to those around them. Whilst in Glasgow and Valencia, we documented some huge architectural statements fallen into disrepair through lack of use, such as St. Peter's Seminary, a defining piece of Scottish brutalism, left to rot, and an abandoned utopian village, complete with theatre in Spain, empty but with so much potential for amazing usage. Abandoned spaces cause more abandonment and create a feeling of hopelessness for those living around them. At the same time, virtual communities exist without meeting places, marginalized groups forced online without anywhere to gather in person. Acquire Collective aims to revive these abandoned spaces and develop safe spaces for marginalized groups with a sharing platform to empower communities to take control of their own environments. The platform offers 3 distinct services. We aim to provide, identify, and map potential spaces for use with user input, offer a link to expert legal, financial, and collective support to help with the process of filling abandoned buildings, and a platform for physical and virtual communities to gather, share, and learn intercommunally across the world. Collaborating on the distinct range of creative and social education that can be offered by each community to all others. Imagine a group in Mexico joining knitting classes led by Knit Circles and Aaron, or meditation sessions reaching a global audience. As the current pandemic has shown, digital collaboration is not only possible, but fundamental to the new normal. We aim to bring this thinking to meet the need for maintaining and organizing community spaces. In doing so, we aim to create a virtual center that both promotes the creation of and runs alongside physical ones. We recognize the problem of art spaces in particular, generating a process of rising living costs and rent that can drive out existing residents. As a global network, we aim to solve this through supporting communal ownership of broad programs, focusing in particular on supporting marginalized groups and safe spaces for all and any potential user. Empowering communities to make their own future to avoid becoming cogs in those of others. Total collaboration is of the innermost importance and uttermost urgency. We invite all creators to join us and co-create the world that is yet to come. If you have any questions or would like to know more, please visit us in the Zoom after.
Great, thank you very much. Well done, Acquire Collective. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. And just to re-emphasize, all these projects you've seen have basically been created from scratch, researched last week, but then developed this week. So they've only had 72 hours to come together to do this, and you would not know it. And if you want to speak to any of these students, you can do so after all the presentations are finished, which will be around 4:15 in their individual Zoom rooms. Okay, let's move on and let's hear from our next group. And first, let's see their video. So this is Shushh, and let's see the video. Great. Thank you, Team Shushh. And over to you.
Hello. So from our research, we found out that 90% of the world's population doesn't get any sex education, and the 10% left gets a sex education, which is very poor. So as you can imagine, lots of teenagers around the world struggle to identify themselves and understand problematics around sex. Some communities are underrepresented, like LGBTQAI+. They're mostly not acknowledged at school. Therefore, we came up with a platform as an app. It's called Shushh. So as you may have understood, Shushh came from the irony of, as a teenager, being shut down because we were talking about topics that were considered as taboo. We also came up with a tagline, "Don't be embarrassed," because we want people to accept themselves and express themselves. We want teenagers to feel like there's a community of people behind them that feels exactly the same way. As a teenager, you don't like to be preached. Therefore, Shushh is a social media. It's an interactive and storytelling medium where people can learn about sex education. I pass it on to Tanya.
Hi. So let's take a scenario. So our friend Grace is a 15-year-old teenager who doesn't identify themselves as either a female nor a male. Hence, they have a huge conflict with themselves. A few days ago, Grace, through an online platform, found out about Shushh. Being very shy, so they decided to use Shushie, the chat box, for exploring the app. Shushie took them first to see to browse stories, where Grace found out that she was not the only one who thought about this. There were hundreds of students around the world who actually felt the same. And the first time, Grace actually felt belonged. This made them extremely happy and even posted their own story there. On gaining confidence, Grace even interacted with the sexpert through our chat option. This experience made Grace themselves aware about their own body, and multiple users around the world felt extremely happy, and they realized that sex education is completely normal. Currently, Grace uses this app anonymously through our privacy setting. In future, teens and young adults around the world could use our app Shushh through their own native language. Shushh would collaborate with schools and colleges and even NGOs around the world to emphasize more about sexual health physically. The X logo of our Shushh is inspired by the cross that the society puts teenagers questions about sexual health. Shushh believes in an inclusive world where everyone deserves to be educated and informed about their body. Finally, I would like to end by highlighting that Shushh has been created by 6 wonderful women from 6 different countries like France, India, China, Russia, Nigeria, and Scotland, who want to bring about a change for not only their own country, but around the world. And we feel that together we are invincible and we can bring a change in sexual health. Yes, thank you very much. And please contact us through our private setting to know more. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Again, I am representing the internet when I applaud here. There's a lot more applause out there, I can tell you. And again, if you want to speak to Shushh, the team from Shushh, you can do so at about 4:15 when they will be in a Zoom room, which you can access through clicking on their link below. And if you liked what they're doing, please tweet. Now we have another project from Team Sans. Let's see their video.
Many artisans are exploited for their work. Larger companies imitate traditional styles and underpay the artisans. This is where Sans comes in. Do you know where your products come from? How they are made and the culture behind them? Click to find out more. Many artisans artisans are exploited for their work. Larger companies imitate traditional styles and underpay the artisans. This is where SANS comes in. SANS is a platform to empower artisans, give them a platform to showcase their work, share their stories, and earn a fair wage from selling directly to the customer. Empowering global artisans without exploitation and discrimination.
Empower artisans, global purchasing, customization, transparency, aesthetics, ethical. Meet global designers.
An hour pop-up tour in your city. Browse and purchase directly from global artisans from comfort of your own home. Now at sans.com.
Right, thank you, Sans. And let's hear from you next. Over to you.
Sorry, I was just waiting for KN, but I'm not sure where she is, so I might just take over quick. So we are SANS, and we're here to empower artisans globally by sharing their designs, techniques, culture, and stories. So we're a social enterprise, and it's to enable the direct connection between artisans and the customer, as we recognise the exploitation and discrimination upon artisans by the fashion market. We aim to empower these artisans who own the original designs and skills. So that's why we're called SANS. It's a nickname for artisans, but it also means without. So that's without exploitation and discrimination. We understand that there is a misconception with artisans. So many people believe they only make traditional products that are not fashionable, but this is not true. As plenty of high fashion brands have imitated artisans' work, we believe consumers should have a deeper understanding of the cultural backgrounds and design concepts behind their products and recognise their potential of participating in the modern world stage. So now Maria is going to tell you a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Rosie. So how it works. Customers come to SANS to find products online and buy directly from the makers. They can search by location, by material, by technique, or by price. As SANS is a social enterprise, the beneficiaries are groups of artisans who will receive a fair pay for their work and will have access to guidance and education to help improve their enterprise skills. We have connected with artisans, cooperatives, and educators around the world. SANS will charge a percentage of the transaction to cover operations costs, meaning SANS is here only as a facilitator and not for profit. SANS is also a pop-up market tour around the world, and Michelle will tell you about it.
Yeah, thank you. SANS will hold a pop-up store world tour. It is a workshop for consumers to participate in the design and production process that allows them to customize products and add their own ideas, which is totally different with the goods from the production line. By promoting the self-made handicrafts, we want to break the stereotype of traditional craft work and create a new trend of fashion industry. We will also invite artisans around the world to perform their crafts and talk about the history behind it. The workshop is on the educational purpose that allows the public to learn about the crafting process and the cultural background, instead of just buying it for the appearance. We'll advertise online on social media, such as sponsor Instagram to run short video advertisements, and open YouTube channel to provide live coverage of all events, and offline outdoors on poster and billboards, so we can reach people who do not have access to the internet as well. Thank you for listening to us. Please feel free to ask any questions in our Zoom meeting.
Fantastic. Thank you, Team SANS. Great job. Great job. I'm going to have tired hands at the end of this, I think. Lovely. Okay. And again, like 3 days work, folks. So, wow. Let's see the next project, which I think is from Roundabout. Yes, indeed. Let's see Roundabout's video.
Roundabout unites local makers. It is an accessible app for sharing skills and sustainable materials. Define what local means to you by selecting a radius. Jen is a carpenter who needs wood for her next project. She opens Roundabout to search for supplies within her community. She selects a radius. She searches for local places and views posts from different sustainable stores in her area. She messages Kelly to pick up spare wood at her scrapyard. Jen realises she forgot to pick up paint. She opens Roundabout and uses the materials section to find supplies. She messages Adam, who has spare white paint which would otherwise go to waste. She collects the paint. Through the Roundabout community, Jen discovers that she can share her carpentry skills at makerspaces. She organises a woodworking workshop at a local makerspace. You can share skills, find materials, and discover your local creative community all on one platform. Join your circle on Roundabout.
Great. Okay, let's hear from the Roundabout team. Over to you, Roundabout.
Hello. So we are Roundabout, and Roundabout is a solution for all makers to share materials, skills, locations, and information about their craft. So the goal is to develop a practical solution for makers to identify the potential of their local area and to connect with their community. The app encourages circular and sustainable practices, such as upcycling, skill sharing within a local community.
The app is easy to navigate and accessible for everyone. When entering the app, you will firstly see a map based on your location. You then have the option to select a radius depending on what you define as local. Once you have defined your local radius, you can choose from the following filters: materials, places, skills, or community.
The first filter option on the app is materials. This asset encourages a circular economy. It allows you to either see the range of people posting spare materials or to narrow your search and choose a specific material such as wood, metal, fibers, or plastics. After selecting, you are taken to a map with pins displaying locations of your chosen material. You can then click on a pin and contact the person to arrange to collect this material. Now Dyeme will talk you through the places section.
Thank you, Melanie. Next option is places. You can see posters, or you can find local junk shops, scrapyard recycling centers, or market spaces. Once you select an option, you can see its map with location pins and a list below after details. Whether you are looking for materials or creative spaces, all local sustainable places will be marked on the map. Now over to Jess.
The next selection is skills. We designed this to allow creatives to skill share within their community. You have the option to either learn or share skills. If you want to learn a new skill, you can see what is in your area, or if you're sharing a skill, you can post that you're hosting a workshop in a makerspace, for example. Our last asset is community. We want to strengthen creative communities by giving you the opportunity to meet and speak with people like you, from students to tradesmen to makers. We hope you'll come and chat with us after to learn more. Join your circle today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Roundabout. Well done. Well done. Some really interesting international themes emerging here, as I'm sure you can see, to be discussed. But before we do that, let's go to the next project, and that is Ferry. Let's have a look at Ferry's video. Great. Okay. No need for me to leap in here. Ferry, all ready to go. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Devika, and I will be presenting on behalf of Team Ferry today. We're a team of 6 women working from across UK, India, and China collaboratively. Before I begin, I would like to request everyone to close their eyes and think of the first word that comes to mind when I say the word death. Please open your eyes. It was probably not a positive word, was it? But it can be with Ferry. Ferry was conceptualized as we identified that most people connote death with negative emotions. It is hard to talk about, and in some cultures, it may even be considered a taboo. In light of the current scenario, this has become even more difficult as people struggle to gain closure and grieve peacefully. So we decided to flip the script. Imagine if death could be a cheerful thing. We are interested in encouraging more consciousness towards the subject of death in our daily lives. We want to motivate people to be more open and vocal. Thus, we've presented you with Ferry. Our digital platform is for people to ferry themselves through the journey we call life towards the shore of death. We believe that living is a constant process of self-curating. We provide thinking tools for you to consider how you would like to be remembered. We set a safeguarded space for you to archive all your intimate feelings, thoughts, memories, and create your own narrative around life. We support you to make personalized use of your digital legacy. It's your decision to keep it quiet or share with your loved ones. We encourage you to talk about death with your loved ones. We emphasize and celebrate moments in life and death with you. We prepare you for the greatest challenge in life with our companionship and compassion. Our idea is simple but multidimensional. We aim to create a mobile application wherein a friendly mascot or your very own guiding star will hold your hand through this journey. The star will provide the user with lots of prompts and questions as you seek to create your own narrative. Reflect upon what kind of legacy you would want to leave behind. Ponder how you would like to plan your own funeral. We at Ferry think of it as a mindfulness service that empowers you to take control of your own narrative and view the cycle of life and death in a more reflective manner. If you have any more questions, we would love for you to join us in our Zoom room later. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you, Ferry. Fantastic, well done. And as Devika pointed out, they will be in a Zoom room later on for you to discuss their project with them. That will happen about 4:15, 4:20 when we've got through all the projects. So let's see what's next. It is Dreamviewer, Dreamviewer's video.
The world can be a stressful place, full of anxiety and pressures. The worldwide pandemic that has kept the globe in lockdown has severely altered our sleep habits. How can we relieve that pressure on our mental health? The unconscious manifests as dreams which contain clues to our inner processes and inner selves, a bridge to draw us closer to heightened self-awareness for better communication, as well as a strategy to better understand ourselves. Dreamviewer is an immersive way to record your sleep patterns and match them with your dreams. Using a wearable sleep cap and linked app, Dreamviewer will record your brain, heart and breathing signals throughout the night, and will provide you with relevant personal data that you can then share with your healthcare provider. Designed for a comfortable sleep experience, the cap contains sensors to collect and collate dream data which combines to create an abstract from your night's dreaming which will enable your therapist or healthcare provider to understand your dream states. The app allows you to add metadata of your dream, including text, mood notes, hashtags to every sleep record and abstract. Cross-platform connectivity allows you to share your data with others to communicate and discuss similarities or differences so you can learn more about yourself and about others. The cumulative data has a wealth of beneficial outputs, including applications in mental health and palliative care for reduced anxiety, better sleep, and better understanding of your dreams, yourself, and others. Dreamviewer. Better dreams for a better life.
Fantastic. Okay, let's hear from the Dreamviewer team. Over to you.
Good afternoon. Hello. We are Dreamviewer, dreamers from many parts of the world, including UK, Italy, Ghana, India, Japan, and Indonesia. And we know we're not the only ones out there. We came up with this futuristic idea, looking at the data around sleep. Sleep issues constitute a global epidemic that threatens health and quality of life for up to 45% of the world's population. And due to the current pandemic, the situation has worsened. So how can we improve sleep? Dreamviewer is a brain-computer interface constituted by a wearable device connected to the app. The headband, sleep cap, uses electrodes to capture brain signals, heart rate, temperature, and breathing rate. The app records your data, which can then be shared with your healthcare provider. They will be able to view the data in detail and provide a more tailored advice to you. The user gets daily support and encouragement for a more effective experience. This data will generate a digital abstract, which the user can customize choosing from the abstract library. The user will also be able to add the metadata of the dreams, including text, mood notes, and hashtags to every sleep record, which can also be shared with a clinician to better understand sleep patterns related to dreaming and vice versa. Therapists and other experts have been, for many years, making use of behavioral and visual intervention techniques, such as lucid dream, dream incubation, and vivo desensitization to improve well-being for problem solving, reducing nightmares, or guiding the waking patient towards having a mastery of their dreams. With Dreamviewer, the user will also be able to share their experiences with each other in their dreams diary and on their social networks, resulting in the possibilities of enhancing empathy and self-awareness, recognizing global similarities and connecting communities. We are also our dreams. In the future, we hope to be able to implant dreams to simulate better sleep. Thank you, and over to you, Sainath.
Thank you, Laura, for that wonderful explanation. We would like to we would be more than happy to answer all your questions, explain about the technology, and even give you a demo of the app. So please join us in our Zoom room so that we can answer your questions. I would like to thank my team members for all the efforts they have put in to make this happen in such a short time. We would also like to give a big shout out to Connor, who has given all the encouragement and help throughout the process, without whom it would have never been possible. We would also like to thank the Modual staff for all the effort to make this such a seamless experience. We are Dreamviewer. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Dreamviewer. Very much appreciated that feedback, and I will feed back to you that that was a fine pitch. So thank you so much. And again, I'm just going to emphasize that this is 3 days work, pretty much. The research and the ideation happened last week, but the work in developing all the assets you're seeing today happened basically from Monday morning onwards. And so these teams have worked incredibly hard to deliver these projects on time. So the other point I want to make is, of course, as everyone's saying, if you want to speak to these project teams at any point after they've all finished, they will be between about 4:15 and 5. They are going to be in a separate Zoom room from the one that we're in at the moment. In fact, you're watching this online. Yes, then you can chat to them and ask more detail if you want to, and all of that kind of stuff. So that's really, really good to know. If you've got questions, they would love to have a conversation with you. And the last thing to say, at least I've got 3 them all the time. Forgive me, we're halfway now. That is, do tweet. Please tweet your comments as we go, because I'm sure the teams would like to see what you're thinking about these projects. Even if you can't join them in their Zoom rooms, it would be great to hear from you on our Twitter. Just go #Modual, MODUAL. Okay, let's move on. We're halfway now. We've got another 7 projects to go. So I'm going to talk about the next project. Here we go. Hang on a sec. We're nearly there. Yeah, as I say, we've got another 7 to go. We had a whole batch this morning. If you missed that, I think they will. We're going to record those and make sure in fact, they were recorded, and that all went up online. That is going up online rather very shortly. And yeah, so it's been a massive workshop. We've had, as I say, 200 students. I think I mentioned that up front. We had 800 applicants initially. We had to whittle them down to 200 from 11 different time zones. So the international flavor you are seeing on this workshop is very much encouraging many UAL holders who are coming to the University of the Arts from around the world to study here in the future, and indeed many participants across the world because of our connection with the British Council and others. And let's now see another project, which is Dyeme. Let's watch Dyeme's video. Okay, I think we've lost sound on this video. Apologies. Let's see if we can sort that out.
So what do we do?
There we go. Let's rewind that video, folks. I think if that's okay with you, let's take it from the top. So one more time, a rewind. Perhaps it's that good it needed a rewind. Here we go, Dyeme's video.
Water. We drink it, we wash in it, we play in it, we need it to survive. But the textile industry uses a huge amount of water to dye, manufacture, and process their fabrics. India alone uses over 1.9 billion litres of water every day, with most wastewater being dumped into local rivers, polluting wildlife and local communities with toxic chemicals and known carcinogens. So what do we do? Dyeme is an interactive online platform that freely educates on the use of natural dyes within your local community. Thousands of people around the globe are upcycling their old clothes, using vegetables and plants to create new, unique colors. Connecting you with Earth's forgotten secrets. We help you start your own local garden community. We teach you how to make your own veg plots and how to self-organize. Dyeme, play messy for a cleaner Earth.
Okay, fantastic stuff. Let's hear from the Dyeme team. If you want to join me, that would be great. Here you go. Over to you.
Hello everyone. So Dyeme is an interactive educational platform, and we want to provide you with the information and knowledge to ethically and environmentally dye your fabrics with homegrown plants and vegetables. Through our platform, our website, Instagram and simulated game, we make it easy for communities to access the information together to gain the skills of natural dyeing and how to start their own local garden communities. We promote upcycling of old garments to reduce waste and consumption and to create a more sustainable way of living within a new circular economy. I will now pass you on to Camila, who will talk you through our website.
Hello, you kind of briefly saw in the video. You're met with like the main page where you can click on the social media and information about different local communities around your area, or you can click onto the interactive map, which shows you the map of the whole Earth, and you can click where you're from. That takes you to where all the local produce and like plants are that are like local to your area. You click on whichever one you want to use. So in the video you saw like red cabbage, and you can see with this one vegetable what different colors you can get out of it with different fabrics. By like manipulating the pH level, you can make completely different colors just by using stuff that usually go to waste and are super super sustainable and super available to everyone who kind of wants to go to their local shop. And then, yeah, we also kind of focused on like the community aspect of it. So we kind of help as well show you different ways in which you can start your own veg plot, and how maybe like you might want to start your own community growing these vegetables and these plants to kind of upcycle your old clothes and not have to buy clothes from fashion industries that are massive polluters. And yeah, is there any, I think that's about everything.
Fantastic. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Dyeme. Well done.
Oh yeah, and if you want to join us, you can join us in our room, and you can find out more information. Maybe you can we can chat about more herbs and more plants, and feel free to join us.
Good shout, Camilla. Absolutely. You can see them in their Zoom room in about half an hour. They'll be there, so please go and see Dyeme. Thank you again. Well done. There's been a bit of a mantra on this workshop. There will be problems. It's not about them not being problems. It's about how quickly they get sorted, and our tech team are on it. So that is always good. We have No Offence next, our fantastic next project. No Offence. Let's see their video. Fantastic, thank you. So let's hear from the No Offence team. Over to you.
Hello, we are No Offence from the UK, Poland, China, and Indonesia. No Offence was born out of a recognition for the very real, very glaring problem of the devastating sexual violence crisis. Our research identified several main issues. First, underreporting. Second, lack of understanding of what constitutes sexual assault. Third, the number of victims who stored evidence of their assaults is few and far between. And the lack of convictions follows the lack of evidence. We believe that providing support and solution at the swipe of a finger would increase reporting, giving voice to survivors and urging much needed change for the existing policies surrounding sexual assault. We want to help victims learn, react, manage, report. No Offence's Learn panel provides information on sexual assault, what it is, what constituted, and how to intervene when you witness it. React with the No Offense ring. When triggered, it sends your location and contact the police or people of your choice. It would also start the voice recording and camera as part of evidence collecting. Reaching out after an assault could be traumatizing. The Manage panel provides resources such as helplines, coping techniques, and access to an operator who would contact GPs on the victim's behalf to arrange test appointments. We understand that not all victims want to report immediately. The report feature helps victims locate the nearest evidence collecting and first aid kit. A built-in tutorial guides victims in collecting evidence and preparing a report for the police, to be used when the victim is finally ready and comfortable with coming forward. For security, digital evidence would automatically be uploaded to a dedicated cloud server, leaving no copy in survivor's device, but completely inaccessible to anyone but the survivor. No Offense also launches as a weather screen that logs onto the app after tapping the verification code. When my teammates and I began this project, we firmly agreed in one thing: this app should not be necessary. Our hopes is that by tackling these issues, we would finally live in a world where this app would no longer be necessary. So let's start a conversation and join us in Zoom afterwards, because no means no. Thank you.
Thanks very much. No Offense. Great presentation, great video. Thank you so much. Great stuff. Okay, let's carry on with this. The next project is from Storytellers. Let's see their video.
In a world full of sad news and negative activism, humanity is challenged with a lot of pessimism today. Our societies have become disengaged and lonely. We have become busy with our uninteresting lives. Our past generations have shared stories through cave art in the form of books and other literature. We have lost the art of storytelling. It's almost like an emergency. This is where we step in. The desire to create is one of the deepest yearnings of the human soul. We are introducing the Storytellers, a world where you can compassionately interact and share, a world where untold and authentic stories are easily accessible and well archived. We believe that each one of us is a storyteller. Please, come and share your fascinating and engaging stories. You can be part of it in a variety of ways. We would like you to experience interactive street installations across the city. We are also working to provide a digital platform for you to discover your creativity in a number of ways. Our promise is to engage our future generations by converting today's stories into happy memories for you to live and relive, just like our forefathers have done for us. Come, be part of this movement. Experience stories with us.
Right. Let's hear from the Storytellers. What story do you have for us today? Over to you.
Hi, so we are the Storytellers. We're a group of 7 that have been working across 5 different time zones and from backgrounds ranging from engineer to photography and graphic design. We came together with the vision of creating a world where untold stories are accessible and authentically told, and a world where people can compassionately interact with them rather than passively listen, as we usually end up doing. Our name is based on where we are at our core, but also a title that we think everyone should carry, the title of Storyteller. Our design elements are inspired by the stories that unfold as we engage with them.
In order to execute this vision of making stories accessible and authentic, we came up with the idea of having a van which will move around and collect stories. This van will provide the safe space for individuals to record their stories, which they want to pass on to the rest of the world. All of this will be complemented by a set of installations which will be in public spaces. Since with this project, we also wanted to challenge the traditional way of how people engage in stories and move away from only having to listen. We included an interactive element into the installations. As you may have seen in the video, there was one installation which was inspired by the hopscotch game for children, and it will navigate the engager through the steps related to the story. And while they listen, they will have to follow the stages on the floor, which will be marked by colored tiles. And in key moments of the story, they will be asked to stop and reflect and be confronted with questions like what would you have done in that situation, or which would have been your choice. And this is to inspire a more compassionate experience.
So, hello world. We are really passionate about storytelling, and our vision is to tell thousands of stories from around the world and bring change in our society. We believe that we can gain a positive impact through storytelling. We are on Instagram, so we invite you to visit us on Instagram. You can also on our website and register your interest. We are really excited about this project, and we would like to see you in the breakout room. And please come experience stories with us. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, storytellers. Fantastic. Do stick around and come and talk to them and the other projects after we finish around 4:20. Okay, let's have a look at the next project. It is Defense Against Design. Let's see their film.
Defense Against Design is a new international campaign group kicking back on defensive architecture around the world. Worldwide, 150 million people are homeless. Design barriers prevent many of them from living safely on the streets. Anti-homeless spikes are appearing in doorways and on street furnishings in cities, towns and villages globally. People are treated like pests, being pushed into unsafe spaces rather than tackling by design the reasons they're there. Key to our ethos is that insights provided through our website come from people with lived experience of rough sleeping. We reach out to supported homeless people and their allies, and people with mental or physical ill health in supported settings, through international organisations, NGOs, government bodies and local authorities. They have resources to support rough sleepers to develop technical skills so they can post useful insights to Defence Against Design's other user groups. Rough sleepers are Defence Against Design's ambassadors too. After all, they're the experts with their feet on the streets, connecting with their allies through the website. The site offers open source resources, photos, stickers, backdrops and useful technical drawings for anyone wanting to show up, respond to or challenge defensive architecture. The resources can be used to stage interventions and create shareable content, driving new traffic to the website. Inhumanely designed environments are being deliberately created in our streets, globally, by private and public bodies. So Defence Against Design is pushing back, providing the space to post creative international responses, solutions and alternatives, revealing the invisible, giving future design thinkers expertly informed insights so they can design spaces for people to meet, rest and live safely in future.
Fantastic. Defense Against Design. Let's hear from you directly. Over to you.
Hello, we are Defense Against Design, and we are a team of designers, architects, and activists working across China, India, and the UK. We came together for a single cause, and we feel it has helped us develop this project so far. Being from different parts of the world, we realized how sad it is that defensive architecture is still being practiced in our neighborhood. We strongly believe to make people aware of defensive architecture, and we are trying to create a positive impact in the way we make and design cities for the future. We aim to make a campaign that is solely people-driven, so we need more support from all of you to challenge defensive architecture in all possible ways. In today's world, regional conflicts and wars are still very frequent, and the root cause is mutual incomprehension and self-defensive behavior. Defensive architecture is another kind of invisible war in which the powerful defend their vested interests and excludes those who are not operating in the system of contemporary society. Defensive architecture hopes to make the invisible visible, give the homeless a voice. We want to nudge people to make them notice the public landscape that is designed to create barriers. We are trying to become the catalyst for change in order to make inclusive cities. We have a lot of information, and my team would be more than happy to chat with you after this presentation. So hop on to the Zoom room, and thank you for listening, Neil. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Defense Against Design. Very good. Well done. All these moving posters that everyone has. The gift is a wonderful thing. And again, 3 days work, projects from all across the world, participants from all across the world. I'll go and chat to them later on if you would like to hear more about that project. We have 3 more to go, and then that will happen. Let's see the film from Rootimentory. Fantastic. Rootimentory. Let's hear all about your project. Over to you.
Hello, we are Rootimentory. We're a group of 4 women working in New York, England, and India. Our product is a play on the word rudimentary, which means basic, because we're all about going back to the basics when it comes to growing and eating your own food. Our goal is to encourage urban communities to grow their own food despite the absence of farmland in cities. I'm going to pass over to Apeshka.
Thank you, Kelly. We know it is hard to find connection in our uber busy lifestyles between what we need and the tools to find it. We might be having extra produce in our backyards, but no information about which people would benefit from it. Nearly 30% of household waste generated comprises of food scraps. Rootimentory can help you navigate there. If you are someone who's a little tight on the budget but enthusiastic to follow a sustainable and ethical lifestyle, Rootimentory is that lifestyle for you. We provide a platform for such people to share resources, maybe gain a little from it, and exchange knowledge about urban gardening. We are here to bring about a transformation in the way we perceive agriculture, to introduce it in larger towns and cities, to make it a means of community building. I'll pass it over to Yukta. She'll explain you how the app works.
Our app provides an interface for both customers and producers to interact with each other. As a producer who has excess vegetation in your backyard that you wouldn't want to go to waste, our app gives you a platform to sell your produce to the members of the community by uploading a picture of your produce and dropping it off at the lockers that we have placed at the tube stations. As a consumer who would like to have locally grown foods, one can search for the food desired and pick it up from the lockers using a unique passcode provided by the seller. This will help to promote the development of a holistic and sustainable community.
Thank you for listening. We are Rootimentory. Think globally, act locally, and build a sustainable community. And if you have any questions or want to find out more, please do join us in our Zoom room later. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Rootimentory. International team. Great presentation, great video. Okay, if you like these, please tweet #Modual, MODUAL, and please come and speak to the projects later. Let's see our penultimate project, For Better, For Richer. Let's see their video.
Earth is a planet with limited resources, but there's no limit on how rich someone can be. According to a report by Oxfam, the world's richest 1% of people own more wealth than the rest of humanity. So, let's play a game. Imagine you're a billionaire. Play as one of the 6 richest people on Earth. Donald Flump, Beth Bezos, Kylie Spender, Malice Walnut, Lark Zuckerberg, or Elon Tusk. Choose your fighter and discover if you have what it takes to become a heartless billionaire. Find out with For Better or For Richer. Navigate yourself through situations based on real life, a world where you're assisted in any possible way. Evade your tax, destroy rainforests, and make your way up and around the ladder of wealth before the climate collapse. Every player has a special, skill, which they can use once during gameplay to advance themselves. So check your privilege, folks, and make your fortune as your carbon footprint stamps out the world's resources. As you linger in the wasteland, unlock your Draw of Atonement cards, each with a world issue your money could fix. How much would you do with your fortune? How much wealth is it acceptable to hoard? And finally, collect stat cards which compare facts about your player's wealth and impact each time you win with a new fighter, and battle them like Pokemon in the tournament arena. Gotta milk them all, but remember, at the end of the day, the richest always wins. Get rich, try and be ethical. Fail, all but For Better or For Richer.
Warning, billionaire culture is no joke. The ice caps are melting while rich people just keep freezing their assets. The game may induce heart attacks at the sheer monstrosities you will uncover. Play at your own risk, but definitely, absolutely, do play.
For Better or For Richer, over to you.
Hi, we're For Better or For Richer, and we have created a satirical online game that aims to educate people of the unethicality of billionaire culture and to help people get their heads around just how much money a billion is. Just yesterday, it was reported that Jeff Bezos earned £10 billion in just one day. Just to put this into perspective, it would take the average American 200,000 years to accumulate that much money. Human brains haven't evolved to understand large numbers yet, and as a result, we tend to vastly underestimate how much a billion is. Our game highlights how you can be ethical and a billionaire at the same time, no matter how many donations you make. For example, Jeff Bezos donated £10 billion to fight climate change. However, Amazon is a huge contributor to the climate crisis, emitting the same amount of carbon emissions as the whole of Switzerland. Monopoly was originally intended as an educational tool to illustrate the negative aspects of concentrating land in private monopolies. And like Monopoly, we also want to use the format of gameplay to highlight how unethical it is to be a billionaire and to hoard that much money. Unlike Monopoly, though, we intend to make sure people don't lose sight of the intentions behind the game. And by making it online, we can regularly update it, making it accessible for everyone, and also keeping it relevant with the real facts to continue sparking conversations about the issue. Over to Amy.
So with that in mind, this is not your regular monotonous dice game. So being careful to avoid being cancelled and getting sent to Twitter jail, you have to navigate the board by picking up movement cards. These will tell you to move forwards or backwards and signify actions and consequences that are involved in making a fortune. We want to really play with boundaries here and use shock factor to bring home the ludicrousy of being rich. So for example, one card might read, in a random bout of kindness, you donate to shelter refugees. You spend $10,000 and are left with only 3.438 billion. Go back 2 squares.
So the first to go around the board 3 times is the first to reach their fortune, and so the winner. This fortune, though, comes at a price that too often isn't recognised. And as you've been going around the board, you leave behind a visible footprint, which signifies this stamping out of resources, people's livelihood, and other unethical decisions that make a negative mark on the world. And the limit of how many times you can go around the board signifies this limit on resources and the way that they're quickly running out the longer that this billionaire culture continues. So ultimately, the game provides a platform where you can learn in a fun way, stay updated on issues going on, and even along the way, we've found out crazy facts that we didn't know, like the one Ella mentioned, which brings home the value of this game in starting important conversations. So for better or for richer, breaks the rules of etiquette with satire and shock factor. It tackles the glorification of billionaires. It plays with the ludicrousy and the unethics of hoarding so much money and of being literally filthy rich. Thank you for listening, and we'd love to answer any questions and show some more examples of how the game works in our Zoom room. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. For better or for richer. Great stuff. Again, 3 days work. Bit of research last week, but basically didn't start this till Monday. What a lot has been achieved in those 3 days. We've got one more project. Then just stick around. I've got a couple of things to say before you go off to see all these people in their Zoom room. Let's see CoLab's film. signing out. See you later. And thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciate your time. Very much appreciate. All right. Enough from me. I go now. Goodbye.